In previous video, we have configured the Intervlan routing with tag-based method and port-based method. So now let us go with the SVI method, that is switch virtual interface, where we need to have a layer 3 switch for the Intervlan routing. Here we are going to create the 3 VLANs, VLAN 100, 200 and 300, and going to create the 3 SVI interfaces for the respective VLANs and assign the gateways. So let me go and do it. Also, if you want to provide the dhcp from the switch itself, layer 3 switch itself, then we can provide from here as well. So here, first of all, let me pick up one of the layer 3 switch, and I want to create the 3 VLANs, 100, 200 and 300. So first let me create the VLANs. VLAN 100, name cells, 200 marketing, and 300 as management. Here we created the 3 VLANs. Now let me save the interfaces. I want to save /1, 2 and 3 to the VLAN 100, 200 and 300 respectively. Also, let me enable the port pass. Similar configuration. So here we configured the VLAN 100 on /1. Similar configuration for the /2 and 3. This is for the VLAN 200. Okay. Now for VLAN 300. Okay. Here you can see we created the VLANs and shifted the interfaces. Now let me connect the devices. After that, I'm planning to create the dhcp on the switch itself. So before that, let me configure the 3 SVI interface as 100, 200 and 300 with the subnet 192.168.1.0, 2.0 and 3.0. That's of 24-bit. So let me go to the switch side. Okay. Interface VLAN 100. That is for the VLAN 100 gateway. Also for the VLAN 200, that will have an address of 2.1, and similarly for the VLAN 300 as well. (3.1). So there you can see I have configured the 3 SVI interface and assign a respective address. After that, I need to create the dhcp as per the lab on the switch itself. So let me create the dhcp. IP dhcp. I want to exclude some range of address, that is from 1.1 to 1.99. Also for the 2.1 to 2.99, and also I want to exclude for the 3 as well. Okay, so now let me create the pool. for VLAN 100. The network is of 192.168.0, that's of 24 bit, and the default gateway will be 192.168.1.1. and for the DNS server I am using a public DNS. Similar configuration for the VLAN 200 and 300 as well. Network, that is 2.0, that's of 24 bit, and default router is 192.168.2.1, and also the DNS server is 4.2.2.2. Also for the VLAN 300, having the network of 3.0. Default router will be 3.1, and going to assign the public DNS. So there you can see I have created the SVI interfaces, and also I have created the dhcp. So let me try to access the address from the devices side. It should get the address from the VLAN 100 range. So 192.168.100, and it should get the address from the VLAN 20 dhcp, that is 2.100, and also it need to get the dhcp from the VLAN 300, that is 3.100. Let me try to make a connectivity up to its gateway, that is 192.168.1.1. Here I am getting a reachability. Also let me try to make a connectivity for the 3.1 gateway. There you can see I am getting the reachability. But let me try to make a reachability for 192.168.3.100, that is of VLAN 300 device. Here you can see I am not able to get the reply yet. My packet is dropping. Why? Because by default on a layer 3 switch routing has not been enabled. Let me try to check from here. So there you can see there is no any routing table formed yet. So I need to do IP routing to enable the routing table. So now you can see. So you have to use this command IP routing to enable the routing table. So now if I try to make a reachability from here again, there you can see I'm getting a reply now. Also let me try to trace out. So first it is sending the packet to its gateway and then to the 3.100. So this is how we can do the Intervlan routing with SVI interface. Also if you want to make an internet connectivity by using a router, then here I'm going to pick up one of the router and I'm going to connect one of the interface. Here I'm planning to connect f0/24. In this way, if you want to connect the router to the switch and if you want to pass your traffic up to the router, then you can perform this by two different methods. One, either simply you can make this link as a layer 3 and assign a particular subnet, maybe for example 192.168.1.24 subnet, and perform the routing, or else you can assign this particular f0/24 on a particular VLAN, maybe on the management VLAN. So now let me try to, on the first case, let me try to make this f0/24 as a VLAN 300. So let us go and do it. Interface f0/24, switchport mod SS, switchport SS, VLAN 300. Also let me enable the port fast. So there you go. Here I assign the VLAN 300 on the app/24. And on the similar process, I'm going to assign one of the address on the gig0/0. That will be the subnet of VLAN 300, which is 192.168.3. something of 24-bit. Here I'm planning to use 192.168.3.2. That's a 24-bit. So let me go and assign to it. Interface gig0/0. I'm planning to use 3.2. Okay. So now the case is that by default your PC, let me try to ping 192.168.3.2. You can see the packet is dropping. And let me try to ping from here. I'm getting a reply. Why? Because by default the particular router also belong to the VLAN 300, so they are making the communication, but in between them they are not able. And also the packet is able to reach to the gateway on the that is router, but it's not able to reply you back. Why? Because on its routing table there is no any subnet for the VLAN 100, 200 like that. So for that case I need to do routing, and here I'm going to use the static routing, where I'm going to write two static route for the VLAN 100 subnet, that is 192.168.1.0/24, and another is 192.168.2.0/24, indicating the next stop as 192.168.3.1. that is a SVI interface of VLAN 300. So let us try to write the two static routes. And one more thing, whenever the packet or whenever the devices want to make a communication between the different network rather than the VLAN 100, 200 and 300, then I need to forward that packet up to the router. So for that case, I'm going to write one of the default route from this side, and from here I'm going to write two static route. So first let me write one of the default route from the switch towards the router. That is 192.168.3.2 is the next stop. That is towards the router side. And from the router side, I need to write the, first let me show you the routing table. There is just 3.0 network. So I need to install two more subnets for 100 and 200. So for that case, I'm going to write the static route. IP route, that is for the 1.0. Sorry, 1.0, and the next stop will be the SVI interface of VLAN 300, that is 3.1. Also I need to route the another route for the 2.0, that is the VLAN 200 subnet. So now I can see the two static route for VLAN 100 subnet and VLAN 200 subnet, and also I have one of the default route on the switch side. There you can see. So let me try to make a reachability up to its gateway. Yes, I'm ready to get the reply over here. So now after this, if I need to make the internet connectivity by performing the NAT, then I can connect a link, and let me use a subnet of 200.123.0/24. Let me treat this as a ISP. Let me assign the address. I want to assign 200.123.1 that's of 24-bit. And also let me assign one of the testing interface, that is loopback, having the address of 8.8.8.8. That's of 32-bit. So let me see the routing table. First let me check the IP table, and you can see the routing table as well. By default we cannot see the 200.1.123.0 network because the link has been down. So there you can see. So from the router side, that is our main gateway, I have to write one of the default route towards the ISP. One. Also I need to assign the subnet as well. So gig 0/1 IP address 200.1.123.2. There you go. Now I have all the networks to make a reachability up to the ISP side. Let me try to ping. But the condition is that by default we haven't performed the NAT or any source of translation. So let me translate the inside network with the gig 0/1 address. For that, let me write one SS list and enable the NAT. IP NAT inside source list is 1, and the interface gig 0/1 address will be used for the translation. And let me enable the translation, that is gig 0/1 is connected to the outside network and gig 0/0 is for the inside network. So this is how you can perform it. So let me try to check the reachability from the LAN side device to the outside. Yes, I'm getting a reply. Yes, there you can see 192.168.1.100 is using 200.1.123.2 for the translation. So this is how you can perform the interplane routing by using a layer 3 switch, by creating the SVI on it, and also you can use the one of the router to make a reachability up to a gateway or the internet.